53,94.
Second pilot's lead started.
Also,
nee, dat is goed.
Finished. Alex.
Ja, Dankeschön an unseren Viktor vorne an der Zeitnehmung an der Uhr. Es geht also los mit dem offiziellen ersten Durchgang Monobob der Frauen. 3 Minuten sind es noch. Na, Blödsinn, 5 Minuten sind es noch bis zum Start. 5 minutes to the start.
Welcome back to Innsbruck in Austria, where we are ready for our women's monobob race, and this will be just the 4th World Cup of the season. Was scheduled to be the 5th, but because of warm temperatures last week in St. Moritz and training getting delayed and yada yada, we didn't have a monobob race. We do this afternoon, and 25 sleds on the entry list from 14 nations. 26 actually trained, but young Italian teenager Naomi Cavalieri has been pulled from the race. She was about 3 seconds off the pace. Only her 2nd Europe Cup race. She's had 2 races prior to now. So what about this Innsbruck track? Well, final time we will race this track in this format, so let's make the most of it. Short run down into turn 1 and then 180-degree turn 2. Start is very important here. It's such a short track. Another 180-degree turn. This is turn 3. Leads you into the upper labyrinth. Corner 4. Past the luge start on your left. Corner 5. Corner 6. That's the women and doubles luge start. Down to the Kreisel. Turn 7. 270 degrees. Come out. There's the outrun above us into turn 8. And then one of the key corners, turn 9, because that feeds you uphill and into turn 10. Very easy to skid there, ruin 10. And if you get a bad exit off 10, there's no time to recover through 11, 12 and 13. And down into the finish corner, corner 14. There's the line. And then here's the brakes, off the brakes, through the extra corner, on the brakes again. Brakes, 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 into the station under the overhead ski piste. So there are the mountains of the Tyrol, Innsbruck, the bridge over the River Inns. It's a big city in a very small valley. Quite entertaining when you fly in, because you spend a lot of time going down a deep mountain gorge. Kelly Humphreys, Brianna Walker and everybody else limbering up in the relatively snow-free car park, actually. It's quite cold overnight, so the track was hard and fast this morning. We had track records in the first heat in the 2-man, and in heat 2 the winner Johannes Lochner set a track record in both runs, and his last 2-man run will be the last ever in the World Cup on the current format of track. The new track is built. It's just not joined on yet. So once this sliding season is finished, they will start demolishing little bits of the track, join them onto the new bit, and we will have a whole different track when we come back next season, with a new finish area and all sorts of extra bits and pieces added in. Now, in our lineup today, 25 sleds, fastest 20 go through, and rookie from the Netherlands, Lauren Jolo, will be first off. Our expected front runners, so Lara Nolter, Keisha Love maybe, Melissa Lott-Holtz, Kelly Humphreys, Brianna Walker, Cynthia Appia, Kim Kilicki, Lisa Buchwitz, double winner last year, Lana Myers-Taylor. They're all in the middle of the field. Race 4 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup for women's bobsleigh. Lauren Jolo of the Netherlands makes her 2nd World Cup start. The 22-year-old debuted in Winterberg. This should be race 3, but we didn't race in St. Moritz a week ago. Her first ever race in a monobob was November 2022. And she has had 4 races here, including in December in the Europe Cup, 5.99 the getaway. Well, the start record sent by Cynthia Appia, 5.76. I wonder if that will go today. Mildish conditions might help the sleds run free. There's the luge start coming in between 4 and 5, corner 6 there, and then down towards the Kreisel. Try to keep a nice even curve. Nice exit. Oh, a little bit of a skid. Down into corner 8. That sets you up onto 9. Uphill. Down into 10. Try and avoid skidding over that brow where the sled goes light. And then down into the lower labyrinth. 1, 2, 3 corners in fast succession. And across the finish line. Then brakes, brakes, brakes. All right, so 55.08. You come up to that. She's buzzing, isn't it? Come into that final corner, still doing comfortably over 60 miles an hour. And down here, 9 into 10. This is exit Kreisel down into corner 8. Not a bad exit at all, out of 9. Cutting a little bit of ice. Coming down towards corner 10. Nice lines. Nice stuff from Lauren Jolo. So, let's see if she gets a second heat this time. She was 23rd in Winterberg. Linda Wyszewski of the Netherlands. Now, when we were here last season, in 2022-3 rather, it was a double race weekend for mono. And Linda finished 12th in race 1, 15th in race 2. 12th place here is still her World Cup best result in monobob. December 2023, so last season, but 2 calendar years ago, I guess. Now, how will her start compare with Lauren's 5.99? 6.02, only 300 slower. First 3 in the start draw come from outside the top 10 in the World Cup standings. So they come from 11 down to 20. 200's back. And actually we saw Lauren Jolo's compatriot Dave Vesselink, who started 2nd or 3rd in the 2-man competition, 7th fastest in the first heat. So the track went away a little bit after the fresh ice had been used up. 1900's in the lead. Good looking run from Wyszewski in her 9th Monobob World Cup start, and across the line, 2700's up, 54.81. So that is 3200ths off the track record. And she's definitely not in top 10 form this season. 2 World Cup starts for Linda Wyszewski. This is Kreisel down to turn 8. Nice turn into turn 8. Brought it down a little early maybe. And a 9, watch the runner tips. Yep, big steer right on the end of 9. Realised she was running out a corner. Ooh, quick getaway from Yingqing of China. Started last weekend in Samaritz, her first race of the season. I beg your pardon, in Winterberg 2 weeks ago. Starting 6.01. Still no sign of Wai Mingming. Still recovering from injury, Wai, I believe. And Ying didn't do the first part of the season. Top speed so far, just 300s in the lead over Linda Wyszewski. She finished in 13th and 16th here last season, but was in the top 5 the year before with a 5th place finish. So she definitely has the ability to get down this track. Still not entirely healthy, judging by her start. But a 10th up, 54.71. Finished 14th in Winterberg.
Good driving. That was good. 6.01.
Digging in. Such a difficult skill for the drivers to learn. If they didn't start out as brake women, that's quite an adaptation from what they've been doing all their lives on the front handles of the sled. It's not a technique that necessarily is easy to come by for everybody. Next up from Switzerland, Melanie Hassler. 7th in race 1, 4th in race 2 here last season. And 4th place here, her World Cup best equaling run, 5.90. She's had silver medal previously, 2 silver medals in monobob, but has not managed to get in amongst the medals here in Innsbruck. 5.90 is a decent start. Bob's been driving really nicely in both disciplines, in the mono and in the women's bobsleigh this season. 14th in Altenburg, 7th in Sigulda, silver medal in Winterberg. Would have loved to have raced in St. Moritz. Three-tenths up. This is the first of our top 10 runners, and a new track record, 54.41. Gosh, that didn't take long, did it? Well, that's exactly what happened in the two-man race. Fourth sled out of the box. Francesco Friedrich, boom, new track record. Right, somebody tell a Bahn recorder. Come on. All right, tell her. New track record, and still she thinks it was so-so. Well, here's the exit out of 9. Yeah, drove it into the wall on the run down to 10. As ever, getting a tall frame in as low as possible out of the airstream. Track record, Melly. Take them while you can get them. They'll all be reset next season. Maybe not the start records, we'll see. Next up for Romania, Andreea Grecu, 6th and 7th here last year. So race 1 last season, her best result on this track. Another silver medalist. She's had a silver and 2 bronze medals in monobob. We know she can start. 5.90 for current leader Mel Hasler. 5.85, 500s quicker. Learned to drive monobob and women's bob while she was still officially a women's bobsleigh brakewoman as well. For Maria Constantin, her then teammate. Maria now doing coaching for the German program. 500's up, 500's quicker at the start. Little late flop off the Kreisel. Down into 9. Good exit down to 10. Didn't drive it into the wall. Second on the splits. What's the speed like at the bottom? It's very close. She was up. She's gone behind. Mel Hasler needs a track record to take the lead. Doesn't get it. 300s back. Well, she's inside the old track record by 500s, but Mel was faster. So 300s covering the top 2, and then 3/10 back to Yingqing of China in 3rd. So Ying will probably end up outside the top 10 at that rate, because we have 3 Germans to come, 2 top Americans, couple of Canadians, Aussie Brianna Walker, to name but a few. Katy Bile of Austria. Look at the way she ducks her head down there on the straight. That's not what you're going to do down there in the labyrinth, though. Not unless you know it's going over. 5 down, Mel Hasler leads by 300s from Andreea Grecu. Race 4 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup. Here is our world champion, Lara Nolte, Youth Olympic gold medalist in 2016 here. I beg your pardon, in Lillehammer. 5.90 getaway. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. 5.85 getaway. So she starts faster than the current leader. And in the green, Lara Nolte. Bronze in race 1, 8th in race 2 here last season. Won the season opener in Altenburg. Silver medalist in race 2 in Sigulda. Off the podium in Winterberg. 700's up. It's a tiny margin and it's shrinking. Needs a track record, gets a track record. Now that actually turned into quite a sizable advantage in the end. She really turned that around down below corner 8. Went from just 700's up to 1300's up. Well, that'll put her in the frame. Big Kevin Kuska down in the tunnel. Runs into the sled, drops into the seat. Watch the drive lines right at the bottom. Right, so she's out of the drive lines there, doesn't have hands on the D-rings, but she loads nice and gently. Sled doesn't skid away. Next up for the USA, Keisha Love. 4th place race 1, silver medal race 2 here last year. Her only time driving on this track. 12th Mono World Cup for Keisha Love. 2 wins, 1 silver. And that silver coming here. Wins in La Plan and Lillehammer last year. In and down, neat load, and again, no drama with the sled. 577, nice strong getaway. Fastest start so far. Into 3. And then down 4 to 5, trying to avoid too much of a tap here. Nice, keeps it off the wall. Out of the labyrinth, heading down towards the Kreisel. 700s up, best speed from Keisha Love. Not a bad exit out of the Kreisel, down through 8 and into 9. Early on 9, comes off nicely, avoids the tap. Really nice stuff from Keisha Love. A 10th up. Boy, she's flowing beautifully. 900s up. Could be a new track record again. She'll need it to take the lead from Lara Nolter. Does get a track record. 700s quicker than Lara Nolter. New track record. Nice start. And again, as she drops in, does not disturb the sled's forward travel. Excellent out of 9, just avoided the rub on the wall. Came over beautifully for 10. Good hands, Keisha Love. She is our leader. So 7 in of our field of 25. Next up is Melissa Lotholtz from Canada, the North America Cup champion last season. Won her first appearance here in a Monobob World Series race in January 2021. It's only her 4th Mono World Cup start though. In and down, 584. 10th, 10th and 13th so far this season for Melissa Lotholtz in the Monobob. Out of 3. And as always, everybody using identical sleds. They're all supplied by a spec sled manufacturer in Bavaria called Igls. So everybody has the same kit. You can use whatever 2-man runners you have at your disposal. They are the same as a normal women's bobsleigh or 2-man runner. Nice height in 10. 4/10 back though. And as she comes across the line, 0.62, 54.83. So our flurry of track records is temporarily abated. 2 10th places and a 13th so far this season. She'll be looking for another top 10 finish here. It's tough here. So much depends on keeping your start speed alive. And so much depends then on having that start speed down through the lower labyrinth. Whoa, right up by the woodwork. Just a little on the scary side of fast. Next up, Olympic Monobob champion Kaylee Humphreys. So Kaylee, 39, 12th Mono World Cup, missed last season as she was preparing for and then giving birth to her little son Alden. That was middle of the summer, so she's not going to outstart all of her rivals at the moment, but 6:04, very respectable getaway in this field. She will want to be among the top 2 or 3 starters if she possibly can before the end of the season. Her summer training routines particularly are renowned for being super demanding. Of course, she could do so little of that over the last year. 7th best speed, 9th at the start, so she's driving herself towards the top 6. She's got good lines here, she knows her way down this track. Plenty of outings here in Innsbruck over the years. 8th at the line, 7th, nicks it into 7th, 54.82. So 6100's back, and she is 100th behind Linda Wyszewski. Linda second out at the start, started 6:02. Kaylee starting 6:04. So 100th behind Wyszewski, 100th ahead of Lotolz. Decent exit out of 9, just had a little late steer, but straight down the tubes into 10, right on the numbers. She may not have the quarterback scramble, but boy, she can still throw a ball. All right, Brianna Walker, 10th of our sleds, with the great Pierre Luders helping out with the coaching again. Silver and bronze in the 2 races last season. Claimed her first win in Lake Placid, the final race of last year, post-World Championships. 5:87 the getaway. 5th fastest, 5:77 Keisha Love leading at the moment, so a 10th behind the current leader from the start. Let's see if she can turn that around before she gets to the Kreisel. From 4 to 5, down to corner 6. Yeah, bringing it back down from 1400 to 1200. 3rd best speed. Melanie Hassler fast is down here, bringing it down 1100s. Gap first to second is just 700ths of a second. Keisha Love, Lauren Alter, a 1-2. She's a 10th back. She's still coming. This could be second place in the line. It's going to be very, very close. She's 100th ahead of Lauren Alter, the world champion. Bish bash bosh, says Pierre Luders, or at least he would do if he came from the East End of London. Second place for Brianna Walker, 54.27. 600ths off the lead, 100th ahead of Lauren Alter, and 1400ths ahead of 4th place Mel Hasler. This is always a track where you get very tiny margins between the sleds because it's so short. Keisha Love leads from Brianna Walker and Lauren Alter. 10 down in our first heat in Innsbruck. Race 4 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup, Innsbruck in Austria. 10 sleds down, and it is the USA's Keisha Love that leads. Our 11th starter from Canada, Cynthia Apia, her 20th World Cup start. She and Lauren Alter have done them all, and they are the only 2 remaining who have not missed a race since the World Cup started back in Whistler 3 seasons ago. 5:85 getaway. Well, we've just seen Brianna Walker go second quickest off a 5:87. So it is possible, still speed in the track, if you know where to find it. 800's back at the start, 1400's back. That's as far away as Walker got. She's got to turn that around now. But the gap is growing to the Kreisel. Mel Hasler, 2/10ths back in 4th. Andrea Grecu, 2300's back in 5th. Whoa, wild. Gets it off turn 10. Little tap away into 11. She's going to be late in the labyrinth. Okay, not too much drama at the line. Top 6, 7th at the line, 54.75. 400's behind Ying Qing of China in 6th. Out of 9, late, and a big steer, drives it into the wall. Gets the double tap, Actually comes relatively straight into 10. But tiny errors like that, and again here just getting nudged away into 11, cost you time. Not finding her mojo so far this season, Sin. Next up, our remaining 2 German sleds. First up, Kim Kalicki, 27-year-old, crashed in race 1 here last year, did not go in race 2. 15th World Cup start. Eighth in the first Monobob World Cup here 3 seasons ago. She did 4 Monobob World Series races as well, so she knows the track. The problem is, when you're racing the very best in the world, you have to take a few risks. And last year, caught her out. Seventh at the start, 1300s back, 1800s back, can't afford to lose any more ground. Out of the Kreisel down into 8th, 6th best speed, the gap continues to grow. It's going to be top 6 rather, not top 3. Skidding from 9 to 10. 6th or 7th at the line, 6th is Ying Qing, 0.50 back. She's 3100s back, so that is a new 6th position. She's 800s behind Andrea Grecu. 2400s out of the medals, though. Gonna need to see quite some track degradation for her to be in the top 3 after the second run. Again, watch the steer. No. Comes a little late off, but believes in it and just drifts it away from the wall. Double race winner on this track, Lisa Buchwitz. 30-year-old has 3 wins last year here in Innsbruck, won both monobob races and women's bob. What a weekend. She was right in the purplest of purple patches last season at that stage. 19th World Cup race, 5:76, fastest start of all. Finally, somebody has outstarted Keisha Love, only by 100th. But Buchwitz can get a sled down this track. It doesn't matter if she's in lonely bob or with a brakewoman behind her. Stand out last year, 3rd best speed at the Kreisel, but she's a 10th up. Keisha Love was not the fastest, Mel Hasler was. 1100s up, building her advantage, long skid down into 10. She's going to have to rescue it on the exit, comes out nicely into 11. 800s up. Going to be a new track record to take the lead for Lisa Buchwitz of Germany, 54.14. 700ths of a second faster than Keisha Love, and the 1, 2, 3, 4th time in this heat that the record's been broken. Runs the front runners up onto the rubber. Well, if you get out, the boys will be able to lift it more easily. That's the Kreisel. She definitely, I mean, this is the shortest track on which to make a difference. And here, actually, probably that big drift after the tap, that probably cost her a 10th of a second by the end of the run. She does know how to get down here. Something really weird going on. Next up, Alana Meyer. Say good weird, but boy weird. 12th World Cup for Alana. 2 silvers and a bronze in her World Cup career. Silver, gold, gold in the Monobob World Series here in 2021. Raced in the World Cup last year to 5th and 6th. Now that was her first season back after giving birth to her second child, 5:93. 2 boys with her on tour. it's early on a Saturday morning. In fact, it might be very early on a Saturday morning wherever Nick Taylor is. I'm sure he will be watching. If not live, then whenever he gets the opportunity. Nice looking run from Alana, but speed not there at the start, and she's not finding it on the run. 7th fastest, but she's off a 10th fastest start, clicking up to 8th place. Kim Kalicki is in 7th, Yingqing of China is in 8th, and she is just 1300ths behind Melanie Hassler, so she's ahead of Kalicki by 800ths, 6th place at the line. I beg your pardon, 8th place at the line. 200s behind Kalicki, so it didn't quite have the speed at the bottom. 54.54. Again, the exit of 9. Just eases it away from the wall. Comes back nicely for 10. Now, Austria's Kathi Beil is up next. 14th here last year. Got a bronze on this track in her first Monobob World Series race. Crashed in the second, so, you know, missed the first Monobob season entirely. She had a stroke in pre-season training, did not race for the entire year. Came back a couple of seasons ago. It's her 11th World Cup start. And her best result here has been an 11th place finish. Tries to take a straighter line from 2 down to 3. Started 100 slower than Alana Myers-Taylor, 594, but only the 11th best speed at the Kreisel. Bit of a flop off the Kreisel as well, tapped into 8. Out of 9, good line down to 10. Needs to use the height to slingshot the sled down into the labyrinth. 11th at the start, looks like she's going to end up being 11th at the line, challenging Cynthia Appiah, 300ths ahead of the Canadian in 10th. So using the Wolfgang Stampfer approved shortcut through the final corner. Not quite sure what the Austrian wormhole is. They do seem to find a way of finding a little bit more in that final couple of corners. Was that her brother Henning down there at the bottom helping with the sled? It might well be. He's driving as well. Little skiddy here though. And again, late flop. That was off the Kreisel down to 8. Sends her crossed up into 8. And again, slowing the sled down. Lisa Buchwitz leads after the first 15 sleds. Race 6 IBSF Monobob World Cup. Deborah Annen next up for Switzerland's 5th World Cup start for our reigning junior world champion in Monobob. 2nd and 3rd here in Europe Cup. In and down, 5.99. Decent getaway for Deborah Annen, 12th fastest start. '12th on the splits, 4,300s back. 12th place at the moment, Linda Wajszewski of Poland. Cynthia Appiah of Canada in 11th spot. 7th best speed for Annen. She hasn't got the starting speed yet. Now, she does seem to have inherited some of her dad's smooth driving ability. This is no Rico Peter run. 13th on the splits. It's drifting away a little. 13th at the line, 11th at the line, tied with Cynthia Appiah. So 54.75. And 300ths of a second behind Kathi Beil. 400ths behind Yingqing. 600ths ahead of Linda Wajszewski, 700ths ahead of Kaylee Humphries, 800ths ahead of Melissa Lottholtz. You get the idea. It's a massive snake pit. Ooh, 7 into 8. Got a massive bump off that hammer, the expansion joint, going into corner 8. Threw the entire sled up in the air. That's an awful lot of speed being shed by the sled right there. She's got the smile. Next up from France, Margot Bock. 9th and 12th here last season. On her debut in La Plagne last season, she finished in 8th place on home ice. That remains her World Cup best. Don't go back to La Plagne this year, or not scheduled to go back next year either, I don't think so. It's going to be a while before we're back in France, unfortunately. Next year rather kibosh by having Olympic Games thrown into the equation in February. 17th at the start, 17th on the split times. Very hard to undo a slower getaway here. 12th best speed. She is our 17th sled, 8th best speed. She may not be the fastest starter, but this woman can drive a sled. Still 16th on the splits. Is she going to get 15th ahead of Melissa Lottholtz? Looks like a tidy labyrinth. How close at the line? 16th, 0.75 back. So 600s behind Melissa Lottholtz. And she's a 10th behind the massive wrestle that's going on from about 9th place down. Whoa, and that's about as high as you want to get there. 12-13, not an easy transition at the best of times, and when you whip up that high in 12, yike. Sled on its side, and out of the tunnel they go, leaving room for our next athlete, and this is Kelly van Petegem of Belgium. Coach Anne van Nieuwenhuis behind her, another new mum with a young child on tour. Kelly's 7th World Cup start, and I don't mean her driver either. Made her Mono World Cup debut here in February 2023. 12th place. And that remains her World Cup best result. Didn't race in last year's race. 6:02 start, 15th. So quicker than Margot Bock, quicker than Deborah Annan. Margot Bock currently in 16th, Deborah Annan tied for 11th. So let's see if Kelly can build the speed down the track and drive herself into the top dozen. 12th best speed. Whoops. And late out of 9 as well. 15th at the start, went out to 17th, up to 16th, back down to 17th. This is going to be towards the tail of the field, in danger of not making the second run. 54.90. 100th behind Margot Bock of France. And is that 100th potentially going to cost her a spot in the second heat? 18 sleds down. Kelly van Petegem in 17th. 7 down to 8. Not a bad run. A little squirrely off the Kreisel, but late out of 9. Didn't steer hard, just got bounced across into the wall and a skid into 10. All right, does she get a second heat? Only time will tell. 19th of our 25 starters, Sylvia Hoffman for the USA. Europe Cup gold here in February last season. 2 Europe Cup outings on the track. 5:82 getaway, another strong starter. When you've got that speed at the start, then it really helps. 3rd fastest start. Only a 77 and a 79 quicker than her 82. So Kay she'll have her own teammate, one of just 2 women to outstart her. Lisa Buchwitz is the other. 18th best speed, but she's in the top 10, below the Kreisel. Still very new to driving, Sylvia Hoffman. Limited experience on this or any other track. Her 6th World Cup outing. Top 10 at the line, 13th at the line, 54.78. That sounds familiar. No, she's not tied with anybody. She's 300s behind Deborah Annan, 300s ahead of Linda Wyszewski. Gets it stopped, not without a ding on the wall. So look at this in the labyrinth. There's the height in 11. And again in 12, little tail skid there. She tried to hold the nose down. Probably trying to keep it a little too low in the labyrinth, but you don't learn much by crashing. You don't gain much by crashing. Second of our Aussie athletes is the 20th starter, World Cup number 4 in Monobob for Sarah Blizzard. 28-year-old has had 4 Europe Cup races here, 2 top 6 finishes. And Van Nieuwenhuis yelling her off at the top, helping out Sarah. 6:23 getaway. So 20th fastest start. And that's something that she knows she's going to have to work on to guarantee herself more second heats. Is to be starting inside the top 20. Fourteenth best speed. Smooth looking run so far. Brought it down a little early off the Kreisel, slapped the wall. Into 9. Comes out pretty clean. Not too much steering going on. Good height in 10. Conservative in the lower labyrinth. She's not going to pick anybody off at this stage. 20th. So behind Lauren Jolo. Now, does that mean a second heat or not? Possibly not, I'm afraid. There are at least 3 real danger sleds in the remaining 5, arguably 4. And potentially, maybe even 5 of them could be in the top 20. But from sort of 17th or 18th on down, 18th on down, there's 8 sleds, all of which could be in the top 20, but only 3 can. All right, we'll have to wait and see if it is enough. 20 sleds in to our 4th Monobob World Cup of the season. Final 5 sleds. It is now time to go fast or go home for our Youth Olympic Champion 2020, Georgeta Popescu of Romania. 9th Mono World Cup start. One of them here, that's last February, or February 2023. So the end of the 22-23 season. Didn't race here in last season, but has done Europe Cup, Junior Worlds and the Monobob World Series here. So she's got experience. 6:23 starts exactly the same time as Sarah Blizzard of Australia. So the battle is on between the two of them to make the race. Blizzard in 20th place is in the drop zone. Lauren Jolo in 19th for the Netherlands, potentially also in trouble. Potentially Kelly van Petegem in 18th, potentially even Margot Bock in 17th. Oh, little sideways exit off the Kreisel. Hard flop off 9. Takes it relatively straight into 10. She's going to have to find something here at the bottom. Again, not a lot of height in the labyrinth. She's just holding the sled down, and that denies it speed. 55.80. So 21st at the line. No second heat for Georgeta Popescu. 8 more nervous minutes for Sarah Blizzard. and Lauren Jolo and Kelly van Pettigem to wait before they know whether or not they've got a second heat. Late height. This is exit Kreisel dragging it down into an icy slide. And out of 9. Didn't take a big steer. Flopped off the end though. That cuts ice as well. And the energy it takes to break the ice there, that's energy that should be accelerating the sled forward. Next up for for Slovakia is the silver medalist in the Youth Olympic Games 2020, Victoria Cernanska. Didn't race in Winterberg. So 2 World Cup starts this season. This is now her 13th Mono World Cup. 6:24 getaway, so a whisker slower than we've just seen from Georgeta Popescu. Second at the start, and that is the handicap here in Innsbruck. Slower start and very little ice in which to recover from it. 21st on the splits and in the speed traps coming into the Kreisel. 19th speed coming further down, out of 9, takes a hit. Still 21st on the splits. Might just make it into the top 20. No, she's already too far back. She'll be ahead of Georgeta Popescu, but Sarah Blizzard hangs on in the race. 55.51 for Victoria. So our Samoritz Youth Olympians do not make it through. But that has become often the case. Victoria Cernanska just ahead of Georgeta Popescu. Not a bad run from 7 into 8, just a little on the wrong side, and out of 9. Takes a big hit on the wall. Again, energy leaving the sled. That's it, until tomorrow. Now then, with the Welsh Dragon, Adele Nichol of Great Britain. 28-year-old finished in 15th in race 1 and 9th place here in race 2 last year. Coached by Sean Olsen there in a cap, Graham Richardson. 2022, a Winter Olympian in Bobsleigh. And summer 2022, she was competing in the Commonwealth Games. So a dual sport athlete. 6 dead is the start. And that's not bad, considering that she's only a few weeks out from having half of the ball of her foot sliced off by a bobsleigh. 15th at the start. She knows she's got the ability to get into this race. 7th best speed is excellent out of the Kreisel. Nice exit. 12th best speed. Still 15th on the splits. Long skid down to 10. And that might be trouble. 16th on the splits. If she can hold it together through the labyrinth. 16th, 17th at the line, 18th at the line. So she should be in the race, 54.90. And that exit of corner 9, not helping a lot. 9th place in race 2 last year is her best result in a Monobob World Cup outing. Whoa! Careful there on that ice. Hauls it off 9. And that's the big hit on the wall. Drives it straight into the wall. Gets the big skid. Come back, baby, come back. That's where you need a little runner check just to straighten the nose up. But she let it come back to her. All right. 2 to go. And Sarah Blizzard is out. Lauren Jolo is in the drop zone. Bianca Ribby for Canada, 10th and 11th here last year. Her only World Cup here. Finished 5th in a Monobob World Series race in January 21, though. 6 dead. Same start as we've just seen from Adele Nicol, who is in 19th place out of the 20 sleds that are in the race so far. So Adele Nicol knocked out Sarah Blizzard. Now in the drop zone is Lauren Jolo, who was first out onto fresh ice. 14th on the splits from the 15th best start. Down to 17th place, only the 23rd speed. Oh, and a really uncomfortable exit of 9. This is not great for Bianca Ribby. 21st, she's out of the race. She needs something special in the labyrinth. I'm not sure the speed is there. Not sure Ribby is going to make it in. She does not. Lauren Jolo holds on by 600ths. 10th here last year, and 21st in this run. 10th and 11th last season. This is not those runs. Little tap 4 to 5, and then gets tapped away, coming down towards 6. Out of 9, look at that, hauling it off 9, straight into the wall, tappity tap tap, big skid down into 10. And our final sled, and this could be real jeopardy for Lauren Jolo of the Netherlands, because it's Austria's Lea Hasselwanter. Only her 3rd World Cup start. Her World Cup debut, her first race, was here in February 23. She finished 15th. Since then, she's done the Junior Worlds and 4 Europe Cup starts. 6:01 getaway. Well, Adele Nicol made the race off a 6 dead, and Lea Hasselwanter should know the track better than the British driver. It's Hasselwanter or Lauren Jolo, and at the moment, the Austrian 19th, down to 20th of the 17th best start. This is not great, only the 23rd best speed. She needs to really turn this around in a hurry. 17th, 19th, 21st, 22nd on the split. She's not going to make it from here. Doesn't have the turbochargers lit, or is she? Up to 20th place. This is going to be very close. It's Hasselwanter, or it is Hasselwanter who is in. 55.02, and Lauren Jolo is out. Lea Hasselwanter across the line in the 2nd heat. '20th place off the 17th best start, and she drove it back as she was losing ground all the way down to the Kreisel and below. Decent start, loaded early enough. And below the Kreisel, nice exit from 9, controlled run down to 10. That's where she built the speed to the line. Lea Hasselwanter will be first off in heat 2, and last off will be our first heat leader, Lisa Buchwitz. Double mono and women's bob winner here in Innsbruck last year. She can't get 3 golds this year unless she somehow drives in a 4-man as well tomorrow, but she could end up with another monobob win, which should be a 3rd on this track in 2 seasons. Well, again, really nice looking drive from Lisa Buchwitz. So the gaps are tight to the top. Keisha 700s back. Bree Walker 13, Lauren Alter 14. Mel Hasler not out of reach of the medals. 2700s back. Then it gets very busy from Andrea Grecu, just 300s behind her. A couple of hundreds, 8th to 9th. And look at that, 300s, 10th, and the tie for 11th, and another 300s back is 13th, and another 300s back, and another 100th, and 100th. I mean, it's just insanely tight. Lea Hasselwanter makes it in. Lauren Jolo, Bianca Ribby, Sarah Blizzard, Victoria Chananska and Georgetta Popescu will be watching the second heat trackside, and you can too, along with that young fella. Join us for all the action when we come back live at 15:30 local, 14:30 Greenwich Mean Time, and that is 09:30 Eastern, and that is in 35 minutes from now. We'll see you then. Auf Wiedersehen.
Lange Zeit so, früher das große Match immer, egal ob das noch Brock, Hackel, Zöckeler, wie sie alle geheißen haben, war, dann waren einmal viele Jahre lang die Deutschen da, ja, überlegen, man hat schon überlegt, was kann man da dagegen tun. Ja, jetzt sind die Österreicher da auch wieder mal zurückgekommen und eben im Bobsport, da haben wir uns die letzten Jahre wieder ein bisschen schwerer getan gegen die Deutschen, aber wir kommen wieder und im Skeleton-Sport sind wir ohnehin auch schon wieder gut dabei. Ein bisschen schade, dass wir das eben hier in Innsbruck jetzt nicht mit dabei haben in diesem Jahr, aber es kommt die neue Bahn und dann werden wir wieder schauen.
Das wird eh spannend, also auch Skeleton ist Wahnsinn, wie da die Entwicklung ist. Also vom Seminar zum Beispiel unglaublich gut ist bei Verboten ist und das unglaublich stark ist. Also das so, es tut sich was, es tut sich international was und das ist in Bezug auf den 26 alles, was danach kommt, ist das wichtig. Es macht Spaß. Es ist natürlich nach wie vor so, dass die Deutschen zumindest jetzt mal der Bob das mal plus unter sind, aber es gibt schon einige Platz.
Also dann ranzen wir 30 weiter. Du bist nur heute hier. Heute geht's wieder raus oder morgen?
Morgen ist schon der Radio. Morgen bin ich schon in Bayern im Radio zu hören. Das tut mir leid, zwar in Bayern aber ich bin heute noch freundlich, dass ich da sein darf. Und Innsbruck ist immer eine Reise wert. Das klingt scheinlich, ist aber so.
Sagt er immer. Sagen wir auch, wenn wir in Deutschland draußen sind. Also, ja, bitte dir alles Gute. Danke für deinen kurzen Besuch.